You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stardom Road podcast here on the Countout Podcast Network. I am your host, as always, Scott Edwards, and I totally remembered the name of the show. Trent, I don't even have an introduction for you. How the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good because now that you said Stardom Road, I know I'm on the right podcast. For a second there, I'm thinking, has he pulled me into this by mistake? Is there someone else he's meant to be talking to? But no, we're on the Stardom Road, which means I'm in the right place. We're in the right place, and the listeners are in the right place too, which is the main thing that matters.
Yeah, this is a big shakeup this episode from our usual schedule.
Mhm.
Since we are in the 5-star Grand Prix season, we thought, we're lazy. We don't want to do research. We don't want to watch anything. What's the best thing that can get us to avoid that? So
It's
we
called
took
fan engagement, Scott.
Yes,
it's not
it
laziness.
is.
It's opening the doors.
And we got a lot of great questions. So
We
today and our next episode, we will be doing Q&A, answering questions about the past, the present, and the future of Stardom. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this one. I feel like I'm doing one of my normal podcasts because it's like I don't have to be right about anything. I
Well,
can
you
just say
do,
whatever
because
I want.
what's more important than opinions?
Well, those opinions are always right. So, like, I'm not worried about that. I totally know my answer to every question that was already asked. But I'm excited. It's always fun to do something different. We'll be back in September. Yeah, September. That's crazy. When back on schedule with our usual content, but these next 2 episodes, a lot of Q&As. So, hope you enjoy us answering a bunch of questions from the good listeners.
It's lots of mini things, which is nice because obviously our episodes tend to focus on one solitary topic, which is good. But some of this stuff, like there are questions here that are worthy things to talk about on the Stardom Road, but it's like, can we stretch that to a full episode? Probably not. So this is kind of like lots of little bite-sized things, and it's not all historical as well. So if you're coming in as we're recording this, as we're putting this out live, it's kind of like a little bonus. You know, you don't have to be following this whenever you want. If you're with us in the trenches right now in August of 2023, you're getting the most up-to-date opinions that definitely won't be changed.
No, I don't change my opinions. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah, I lost, but technically won because she ended up being great.
Yeah, by losing you actually win.
You know, I am fully engaged into surrealism these days, so it doesn't even matter. Like that's my new life is surrealism.
You're off the Stardom Road.
Well, no, I'm always on the road. I can't get off the road. I'm studying surrealism while I'm on the road.
Right.
Get it?
Yeah. Taking a night course.
Hopefully they can combine eventually. I'm trying.
Well, Sari tried too, and then she fell sick.
Yeah, / she signed with WWE. Anyway,
that was the sickness.
Yeah, you'd probably agree. Anyways, love surrealism. You should go watch those if you haven't. But let's start to answer some questions, shall we? Our first question today is from my good friend Xavi. This one's a fun one. What pairing should have had a Goddesses of Stardom title run, but for one reason or another just didn't? That's a pretty loaded question.
It's a loaded question with a very loaded answer.
I have my answer ready to go.
I feel like our answer is probably the same. And I almost feel like there needs to be an asterisk on this one.
I doubt it's the same.
Oh, really?
Well, you go first. You go first.
No, okay. Well, to me, the obvious one that stands out is Dreamshine, Arisa, Hoshiki, and Tam Nakano. Like, to me, you almost had to put an asterisk on them when answering this question because everyone thought that this team should have won a championship. And arguably, probably, I don't want to say would have because Stardom can be funny with this kind of thing. But if Arisa had been able to stick around, there's every chance they could have won the championship. But definitely around the time they won the tag league, it's hard not to point at their failed challenge and think, why didn't they? Like one of the hottest tag teams Stardom have had, and they just have a tag league and some videos on Stardom World to show for it.
Yeah, they're one of my two. Or 3. I mean, one of them I guess could still happen. Dream Shine was like the first thing that popped in my head because I was like, man, what could have been, right? Arisa and Tam just running it with those tag belts. Obviously, one reason or another didn't happen. But yeah, that's a great one. So the other two that I had thought of were one Momo Oz, who of course
Okay, we're 2 for 2.
Yeah. Who went on to win the Goddesses tournament before very quick. Was it right after or was it the year prior? It was the year prior. Never mind. I got it confused. Momo didn't turn for another year.
It took
but
a
they did
while.
get to the set. They did get to the finals the year after. And they were just Momo and Azumi just were sensational together. And I'm a big fan of Azumi with all of the Queen's Quest in any duo. Like I think she's great with Utami, she's great with Saya, but Momo Oz was just like such a great team. And I have all the belief that I'll never get that tag title reign. So I just got to accept it. But they have some of my favorite tag team matches in Stardom. Their match with the ALK I'm very fond of because I really did think they were going to win that. I thought ALK just kind of got them for a cup of tea, but no. My heart was broken. And then the other one, which is the one I still think is slightly possible, maybe somewhere down the road, is the MK sisters. I think someday, maybe if things go right, that could happen. I always loved them as well. They had some great matches together, and obviously that has become a much bigger story. They've even been able to compete in the Tokyo Dome together as a team. They just flipped back into being a duo for like one night. It's great. But there's a lot of other Goddesses teams that just never got the belts and absolutely should have.
It's one of those things where those belts are treated with a certain level of prestige. I think a lot of people aren't used to when it comes to tag team championships. If you're coming from a WWE kind of setup or even a New Japan, like these belts feel more important in Stardom than they do elsewhere. But the unfortunate byproduct of that is there are teams that you feel should be winning the title that don't.
You know, it'd be a good one, even though they did win them. Mahime.
I was nearly going to answer them because the championship reign was so short and forgettable, unfortunately. But yeah, we got the photos, which is in many ways the main thing. But yeah, I think Momo AZ and Dreamshine are probably the two obvious ones. They didn't really team. But because they were trying so hard to build a story together, I would have loved to have seen Azumi and Kagetsu even make a run at the championships.
Absolutely.
You will see Kagetsu / Yu Ishino pop up a lot in my answers for these questions, so just be prepared. That is the first of many.
Next question. I believe this was also from Xavi. If you could choose any trio of wrestlers to have an artist title run, who would you choose? This anyone. I have like so many people that popped in my head at the same time. I was like, that would be a good situation. I mean, dream scenario is like one more 3-dem run.
Of course.
You know, in their advanced stage of their career, I think that would be just something to behold. Obviously, I mean, we got a restart run. Anything's possible, right? In the year 2023, anything can happen. But if I want to like do one that's probably more believable, I don't know. Do you have an answer?
Sort of building off of the Dream Shine, I would have loved to have seen those two and Mayu Iwatani run as the Artist Championship, because obviously those three, especially at that time, is almost a cheat code in terms of skill and level. But the interactions between the three of them was hilarious as it was. And I think you chuck a championship in with that, it would have just added so much to the table. So that's the first one that comes to mind for me, if I'm being honest. I would have also loved to see Chris Wolf get a run with this championship, because especially in that era, you know, your 2006 to 2008 era of the Artist Championship, it was a good way to just give people a title that maybe wouldn't have typically won it themselves. Now, Chris Wolf did get a very brief high-speed championship run, so she wasn't completely titleist, but I think her getting an artist run, either with like a Kyoko Kagetsu pairing or the Tam Hana Kimura pairing, I think that would have been a lot of fun. And just giving her just that little extra accolade for all the work she put in for Stardom.
Yeah, so I'll give you a real trio. I'll give you Tommy, Saya, and Azumi right now. I would very much like them to just get that run.
Yeah.
And then here's my 3 random wrestlers put together for one, because I think it would be the most insane trio. It would be Azumi, Starlight Kid, and Natsupoi. Just high speed
revolution.
Yes, exactly. I think that would be insane. But if you want me to go back in history a little bit, Mayu, Kagetsu, and it doesn't matter after that. I'm not gonna lie. I just wanted them together. Who would I want to put with them? We'll put Peak Momo with them. Just the absolute beasts of that.
3 of the faction leaders during 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I think that would have been awesome. There's so many other different ones we could go up and down, but I think those are the few that I kind of thought of. There's just something in me that is like, come on, let's just go all high speed for a trios run, or we can just give it to the top 3 in Queen's Quest, and we can just stop kidding around here. Stardom. That's the most believable one. So
it'd be fun to do like an errors thing. So like doing a Oedo Tai errors. So put Ak Yasukawa, Kagetsu, and Natsuko Tora together.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think that'd be a really fun combination, and just bringing in that entire history that Oedo Tai.
So we're gonna do Io, Momo, and Utami.
Yeah, that works for me. And Mayu, and Mayu for stars.
You know what? To do that one, you can do. No, you can just do that. That sounds good. That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, no, I love the artist belts so much, and it's like just thinking of like all the possible trios that could have had it and should have had it.
Yeah.
I think that's a question somewhere down the line in this Q&A, so I'm gonna stop talking.
There is another artist question.
Oh, here we go. Also, what is a trio you think should have held them longer or never got to hold them that you think should have? That's from Eternal Pure. So there you go. We
kind of half answered that.
As
for which team should have held it longer? I mean, honestly, pretty much any of the teams between 2015,
just
2016,
not the Cosmic Angels.
From the Cosmic Angels reign is really the changing point between how this belt is treated. Just about every team before then didn't hold it for that long. Just go through the Wikipedia with all those artist teams, and there's so many. I'm going to say Hana, Kiona, and Konami, just because we forget how short that reign actually was. Yeah. Like we talked about it in the Hanakamura episode. Like it feels like that was like a 200-day reign, when in actuality they defended it once.
That's a great choice. They were on the tip of my tongue, so I'll give you a different one. Gonna go pretty recent. How about we just had a real restart run? I'm still upset about that. I was really excited for them to be champions, and then they held the belts for 34 days.
Thanks, Suzu, they even got the belts. She's the reason they held that championship.
I'll celebrate that. But in terms of never got to hold them, we pretty much answered that in terms of trios. I mean, a lot of them we did make up some trios, but I think we did.
We listed some relevant, like should have or still could have in the case of 18 Queen's Quest.
Yeah. I was gonna say someone ridiculous, but I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna say like the most ridiculous trio that ever challenged for them. But you know what? It's better if I don't. Next question is from Dylan Fox. Who would you say was the biggest missed opportunity in Stardom history in terms of a wrestler who could have had a white or red belt run and just didn't for whatever reason that you think would have been successful? I wonder who Trent's going to say.
We are taking bets now. Who am I listing? I mean, the obvious one is unfortunately either Hanakamura or Arisa Hoshiki. Yes, I swerved on you, Scott. in terms of like they are both people that should have
Arisa
held the
Hoshiki
title.
held the white belt.
She should have held the red belt. Let's be
Well,
honest.
that's true, but I was thinking someone that didn't held either.
Okay, well, just Hana Kimura.
Hana's a good one.
Yeah, like that's the obvious one. But it's for whatever reason. There's a very obvious reason for that. She would have held the title, but if we're giving me space, Jungle Kiona, she should have at least got a white belt run. Like I will stand with people saying she wasn't red belt material. That's fine. But like there's a white belt run in there somewhere that she could have had. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, especially on the Hana one. Hana was off the top of my head. I mean, that's so difficult because obviously she was going to. So to be fair, and that, I mean, I don't know if she's ever gonna get it, but Hazuki, I'm starting to think Hazuki could be like at one point that answer was very fair. She retired, locked it up. She never, she was done. I think Hazuki is someone who obviously could have a very successful run as a Wonder of Stardom champion. I had someone else off the top of my head, but clearly it wasn't that good because
I would have liked to have seen, especially in early Stardom, I think there would have been room for a Kyoko red belt run. Even if it's like replacing alpha female in that kind of transitional period where like you want a big dominant wrestler to kind of move the belt over from Nanai to Io. Kyoko, I think, would have been a good option in that kind of situation.
I think there was a time with her popularity that Konami could have held the Wonder. I think there was a time there that she would have been successful. She was very popular, right, with the Tokyo Cyber Squad era, especially.
Yeah.
She made it to the finals of both tournaments. She was a key part of that era. I mean, there's a lot of key parts. But if you want to just name one person and then get the world, then it's Arisa, Wonder, World, Hana. There's a lot of people, sadly.
Yeah.
That
Konami, I think, would have been a really good trigger pull right when she turned to Oedo Tai. Obviously, Tokyo Cyber Squad was when she was at her most popular, but I think that Oedo Tai character, especially at the very start, like she was doing stuff with the character I think was really interesting. Top tier look from her, and she had the momentum running off of like essentially helping put Jungle Kiona out of a job. That they could have transitioned that into a championship reign. But that was really, the last chance.
If Chigusa Nagayo didn't take her from Stardom, Takumi Iroha as a world champion obviously would have been great. But things happen. That's a great question, Dylan. Thank you for that one. Favorite draft year? That's again from Xavier, 2019.
Yeah, look, both drafts had a lot going for them, but 2019 I think had more fun to be found within the antics and conversation. 2018 it had its moments, but like nothing beats Natsu Samir, begging on the ramp to get added to Oedo Tai and Kagetsu just toying with her ad nauseum. So,
and obviously, if you listen to our Hana episode, we went into detail about her involvement in that and how she made that so special.
Absolutely.
So
kind of a shame we've only had 2 opportunities there, but I even though I'm a proponent for the draft, takes away a lot of storytelling opportunities done naturally, but there's a lot of fun to be had with that kind of thing.
Again, from Eternal Epure, you'll hear a lot of the same names. I mixed them up. Is there any moves you'd like to see a current roster member add to their repertoire that you think would elevate them and fit their style, or just do because it would be cool? Perhaps as a signature finish. I
do like the little addition there, all because it'd be cool. Because let's be honest, that's what you're picking.
Yeah. Do you have any move off the top of your head for someone?
Like it's an interesting question. I would like to see Mo Iwatani bring in the Oz cutter, kind of like Arisa Hoshiki did. I think she's got the style to bring that in as like a signature kind of change up a lot of her positional movements as well. She doesn't really have a lot of rebound springboard moves. Like she's either going to the top rope or she's keeping it in the center of the mat. So that would be a fun kind of change up to her style while still fitting the Mayu Iwatani wrestling characteristics.
I'd like Mirai to do a Rainmaker. Yeah,
she's already pulling from Hiroshi Tanahashi with the crossbody.
Yeah,
so just keep adding to the New Japan legends.
Right, and Hameka was using the Rainmaker, so
Yeah.
no offense to Hameka, Mariah just has the best lariat in the game. So
Mm.
I just imagine her absolutely wiping someone out with that, and I think that would be my top choice. And yes, that would absolutely because it's cool. I always toss around moves though for Utami in my head, like every power move in existence. I toss around in my head for her. I've tossed around the F5. Megan Bain has stole that. I've tossed
stolen.
Yeah, stole it. Not her move, but Megan Bain does it really well. She threw Saida a million feet in the air when I watched her do it the other day. But I think Utami's someone who just does a lot of things so well, and like she added the shocking Baszler to her repertoire. I was like, that is very odd move to just add, but it looked really good when she did it to Momokogo, for example. So it's like, okay, let's just add everything. I think her just doing like a last ride power bomb, lifting up and just throwing down.
Especially if they were trying to avoid the powerbomb spamming with Himeka there. And I mean, Hanako's not at the point where she's going to regularly be pulling out a running powerbomb. So, or Ruaka for that matter. So, even though she tried. So, Utami can sort of set up with a last ride move. I'd like to see, if we're talking about, the New Japan connection, Maika, who teamed with Hiroki Goto, I'd love to see her steal the Shouten Kai, which for my money is one of the coolest, visually most impressive looking moves in wrestling. And the fact that Goto uses that as a signature is a crime against humanity, but half of his move set is finisher worthy moves and then finishes with the GT fucking R. But yeah, Maika, bring out the Shouten Kai. I think that would, I don't want to say elevate her because I don't think a move is going to be the difference maker, especially a move that's borrowed from someone. Yeah.
I want to see, and this isn't even a move, it's a very specific thing. I want Azumi to add an impact finisher.
Agreed.
That has long been my one request for her. I don't even care what it is. I just want her to have a non-submission finish and a non-roll-up finish, because I think that would bring her to another level that a lot of others can't reach. There was this under 30 list that came out the other day, and she was in honorable mentions. And listen, the fact she was in honorable mentions on an ESPN list, that's a big deal. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I know people had their complaints. Obviously WWE was going to be favored, like, come on. But the fact she was on it in any sense is great. And I think if she had an impact finisher, whether, I'm not going to give her a German, because I think everyone just does one now. Like Natsupoi does the straight jacket German, and the rest of the roster does every other kind of like suplex. But with her, it's like, I think the Osprey move said a lot when I think of her, just because of how athletic she is. I don't think she's gonna start throwing Hidden Blade, even though that'd be sick. If Azumi starts if she started hitting the Hidden Blade, she'd be my favorite wrestler in Stardom, just because that, for some reason, her running as fast as she humanly can while doing that, I'd be like, no, that probably knocked her out.
Yeah.
But I think an impact finisher, whatever that is, I want her to have.
I think like the first move that comes to mind for me that is believable for someone of her size, because like you can't give her like a power bomb or anything because it's just not going to work.
No.
Maybe like Sonata's new Deadfall, that kind of
DDT. Maybe a Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner would work well.
Blade Runner's easier to do.
Or Crossroads.
Like, Crossroads would be a good one. I like the Crossroads. I know Cody, poor Cody's attacked these days, but I think that would be a really good move.
She does the Canadian Destroyer, which should be like it still should be finisher level, but just if she appeared on any American indie, then
maybe a package pile driver.
If she could, like, I'm not sure if she had the upper body
pile
strength.
Driver, maybe just
a
pile driver. She can just drop someone on their head. I think that works.
Which would be a nice transition, well, not transition, comparison to style like Kid, who's doing a tombstone pile driver style too.
Yeah, see, we're Azumi, listen to the show. We're trying to give you some cool things. If you start hitting the Hidden Blade, you're welcome.
Yeah, just give it like the bouncing off the ropes like 3 or 4 times to really build up the pace.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, like I also like the sliding D. Masato Tanaka does it really well. Obviously, Ishii does it. I think she could do that incredibly well. If she just put everything into it, goes back and forth like 3 different times, and then just destroys someone. She just has to get like a really big elbow pad, and I believe it. Kind of like Kairi uses.
Well, it's not a believable move unless you're removing some part of your arm gear.
Right. Yeah. As long as you're drilling your elbow into someone, I'm believing it.
Well, not actually drilling your elbow. Like,
all right. Well, Ospreay actually drilled the elbow, so I'm just saying. Next question is from Kusanagi Slayer. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Good listener of the show, though, so I appreciate it. Top 5 all-time Stardom entrance themes.
Now we don't have the rights to these songs, so we can't actually play them on air. Yeah,
trust me, I could have. If I could, I would.
Yeah, we can't even say it's a Patreon exclusive because this show doesn't have its own Patreon. Do you want me to go first?
We can just go back and forth one by one.
Yeah, okay. We'll just start listing them. I think the first one that comes...
No order.
No order. Yeah, that's good because the one I'm starting with is probably my all-time favorite. I'm biased, but it's the Mayu Iwatani Championship theme.
That's why I think that's just go back and
like
forth.
The normal one is fine. It's fun, but the championship theme just kind of takes it up to another level. And I like that she's got a championship theme. It feels like next level.
Yeah, championship theme was my top choice as well. That's why I said let's just go back and forth. Just like, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. I just think it's the ultimate big match feel. Like when you hear it, because it doesn't happen a lot, you just kind of get really like I get goosebumps when I hear it.
Yeah,
because I don't hear it all that much. Like I'm gonna hear it this weekend. I'm gonna hear it when she's defending the IWGP Women's title. I'm gonna lose my mind. It's just so good. It's just such a good theme. My second, we'll just go back and forth.
Of course,
is Tam Nakano's theme. Obviously, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, anytime she has her own entrance, I get the meme with the kid turning the music up and singing. Like I love that theme song. It is so catchy. It's the best thing about Tam, which is not a bad thing to be the best thing about. It's a phenomenal song, and I don't know. It just gets me amped every time. Then sometimes the matches deliver, and sometimes I want to ask Tam why.
But if she wins, you get the song a second
That's
time.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
The song's so good. And now that she has like 7 different songs for her tag teams, I never get to hear it. So when she plays it, it's almost like a championship theme at this point.
Yeah, it feels special.
It does. It does.
Well, speaking of champions in Stardom right now, going to go down 1 level to the Wonder of Stardom champion, the Mariah theme is an absolute banger, and it suits her really well. I think it gets the crowd amped. You hear it from the clapping, like it's worked out perfectly for that kind of gimmick. But even just listening to it separate. Oh yes, of course. So they're only clapping out of politeness. But even just listening to the song outside and divorced of all the wrestling stuff, it's just a good song to listen to.
That's true. I'm in agreement. What's all right, what's your third?
My third one, I can't this one could answer all of the rest of my available spots, so I'm just going to put it as like a general. Oedo Tai, pretty much all of their themes. Like even going back to the Akira Sakawa era, like that song was a lot of fun, and all of the Oedo trigger and its variants from the golden era to the more army style to the current scratchy Natsuko Tora era theme, just all of them work so well and consistently among my favorite songs to listen to in the Stardom period.
My next one is Kairi's theme.
Can we cut the opening 1 minute 20 seconds?
Yeah,
when it actually starts?
Once you get to the actual theme, because it's one of the best big match. Like when she returned to Stardom and that music hit, like actual music, it's like, holy shit! Like holy shit, she's actually here. Like that's the moment I have when it hits, and it happens. I listened to it on Surrealism, and I'm like, they're in Little Shinjuku Face, and it still feels like the biggest entrance in the world because just the way it's just the presentation that brings it up too. But it's so good.
It's a tremendous song. Like it is, yes, it's a bit of a Pirates of the Caribbean ripoff, but it's just executed really well. Like it's another song you can just play in the background, divorced from wrestling, and it just sounds really good. My only complaint is the opening pitch.
Yeah, the
like
talking thing.
It takes a lot to get into, and unfortunately, they don't cut that when it's not necessary. Because speaking of Kyrie's theme in Shinjuku Face, I was lucky enough to hear it when she rocked up at the Nomad show. The problem was it was meant to be a surprise appearance, and they kept the opening, and it was that real awkward, like, what's going on? And a few people in the crowd were picking up, oh, that's the Kyrie theme, but you didn't get like if they just kicked in from the it would have been so much better.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's a complaint. That and then my next theme is Nanai Takahashi's theme. I think it's just so good. I think it's one of the best. Because she's had it for so long, and I feel like when she's come back and I get to hear that theme, it does make her feel on another level in many ways. It's I don't know, it's just a banger.
It's a prerequisite for all of these. I'm also going to list Kagetsu's solo theme. It was one we didn't hear a lot because, again, she typically come out to the Kagetsu theme. But the solo theme was really good too. And thankfully, she had a long championship reign, so you did get to hear it a fair bit. But that's one I still go back and listen to now.
That is a phenomenal choice. Then your last one.
I mean, it's got to be Himeka. Set the dance floor on fire, baby.
I hate you. Okay. And then my last one is Julia's old theme.
The old theme. Yeah.
I like the new one a lot. I just think the Julia's old theme with like how she was presented, especially after she came back, she was just like she was the biggest badass in wrestling. And that theme connected with her perfectly. I do really like the new theme now that I've gotten used to it, but that like when I just remember the 5-star final and she's coming down from the thing and that theme's playing, and it's just like, this is perfection.
I actually think that entrance would have been bettered with the new theme. I think that the new theme would suit that kind of entrance really. I think
it would fit really well. Absolutely. But that look and just that night, it was like she already went through a war. I was like, this is perfect. But the new theme would fit that.
I'm a full convert to the new theme. I wasn't a big fan of it when it first came out, but I think the biggest issue is the sound mixing on a lot of Stardom shows doesn't highlight that kind of theme well. Because it is soft, there's a lot of undertoning, which you don't pick up necessarily, but having heard it, crisper and better, and they need to release the studio version so we can properly appreciate it. I'm full in on that theme now.
Honorable mention to Mina Shirakawa's theme
and Sherry's
and this and this one and that one and this one. But
I can't wait to hear Io Shirai come back to her Queen's Quest theme when she eventually does.
I used to love Momo's theme as well. Queen's Quest theme, and then they switched it for like 2 seconds, and then she turned heel, so it none of it mattered. Anyways, next question. This is a current day question. With Saya's unfortunate injury, do you see Natsupoi being a dark horse to win the Red Stars block? That is from Trey. No, but it is nice that she's leading it right now, right? She's got 6 points.
Yeah,
you include the Saya one, 3-0.
How'd that go for Hazuki last year?
Yeah. I will be really upset if that's exactly what they do with that. That would be so mean. No, I don't think she is. I wish I could say she was, but she faces Tam on the final night. They ain't running that back twice in a few months. I love Natsupoi, but her time it's a little ways down the road.
Short answer, no. Long answer, no. There's too many people in that red block that they can put in to that final night. That's probably an easier kind of replacement spot.
This is me booing you for the no. Anyways, this is from Dylan Murray. When it comes to the lower card wrestlers in Stardom right now, name one wrestling trainer, past, present, that you would pair them to maximize their abilities. Fuka.
Yeah, I think Fuka's the obvious choice, because like the current Stardom system is like even if they allegedly tried to move away from it a bit, I do think the remnants of the Kagetsu era training is still kind of there under the current dojo system in terms of direction. But Fuka is someone that can, I think she can unlock a different side with a lot of these wrestlers. You can see what great stuff she's doing for Actress girls right now. If we're talking outside of Stardom, though, bring Emi Sakura in. Give her a couple of months with this class, and she'll whip them up to speed and get them doing new things and interesting things, and really unlocking that potential.
Outside of Stardom, just because she said she wanted to bring Zenjo back, we're bringing Suri. she was like, "I want people to get hurt." Oh, okay, okay, yeah, we'll bring that back. She did say she wanted to train people, so. She's not even a trainer, but just have her teach Ida how to throw a forearm. Ida's ripped, like it's gonna. Imagine the echo from them. Just give me 2 seconds. Eternally Pure, once again, if you could choose a few people to have a one-off special entrance with licensed music for a big match or whatever, what songs and for who would you choose? This. I don't think I'm going to be able to think of one for this.
I'll give you one. And this is an absolute cheat code, and I'm aware it's an absolute cheat code. I want Tam Nakano to come out to Unlimited Dream Navigator.
It's a great choice. It's a great choice. I miss
absolute cheat
Dream
code,
Navigator.
But
I got before Arisa disappeared from the face of the earth, and we never got to hear from her. I got a Unlimited Dream Navigator sweatshirt.
Ooh,
yeah, it's one of my.
That's actually a really good grab.
Yeah. She put on PWTs for like a few months there when she came back around, and I was like, I gotta get it. But so yeah, that's a great one. I
need to next time I'm in Japan, I need to see if I can get a UDN CD from like one of the record stores that do secondhand stuff.
That'd be cool. I miss all their songs. They just pulled them all from existence.
Oh, it's so gutting. You can still find them on YouTube, thankfully, but the lack of Spotify really hurts.
Yeah, I used to have. I think that album was like one of my most listened to albums the year it came out. No shame. I'm
not sure who I would pair it with. Maybe like a Konami or a Shuri. But I would love to see someone come out to Parkway Drive's Kronos, just because like I'm the kind of person who thinks ad nauseum about like if I was ever a wrestler, what would I use and all of that. And that song to me is like a perfect, like big dominating kind of song. So maybe like Shuri special theme coming out with some specialty gear, and have it come out to Kronos, and like it just amps up the badass level even more, even for someone like her.
I'd have Shuri and Saki Kashima come out to You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story.
I would have Koguma come out to the Alpha theme song.
See, now we're cooking. I'm trying to give everyone a serious one, but that I saw.
I'm being serious. The Alpha theme song slaps.
I was being serious too. No, I think I'm pretty set with my one. I think I'm pretty comfortable with that one.
I mean, actually, New already comes out to Baby Metal, so like we just need to get Stardom to give that a one-off.
I would have. This is when Momo turned heel. Had we went down a different road, I would have taken Io Shirai's theme from WWE.
Ooh,
I think that would have really worked really well.
Yeah. Especially if Io came back.
Well, yeah, I love that song though. Like that's one of the great WWE themes of present day. And I think Momo, when she had that first look of being heel with Oedo Tai, I think that would work pretty interesting. Yeah. So or Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid could have done that too.
Yeah, I definitely think early Momo that would have suited a little bit better because they kind of were both doing the Maniac kind of
current
appearance. Yeah,
I like Starlight Kid's current everything anyway. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think I've thought of all my songs. I hope I hope that was the answer you looked on. I was trying to think of another crazy one, like a ridiculous one, but couldn't do it. So I apologize.
It doesn't help that Stardom theme songs right now are really good. So there's like a lot of them I don't want to, even if it's just for a one-off, I don't want to drop necessarily.
Smooth criminal for Koguma when she was stealing things. All right. Anyways, we'll move on.
Basically, any kind of joke theme we can pair with Koguma.
Yes. Next one. Other than Kandori and Shuri, who are the Joshi wrestlers that should be talked about the way Haku is? Kissed by Inertia. Oh no. People that are dangerous? Asha Kong?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, basically people who you legitimately wouldn't want to get into a fight with. I mean, like, honestly, any of the black belts, like, there's a lot of lots of martial artists in Stardom, and just sort of outside of Stardom that have those kind of black belts. Even Tomoko Inaba, like, I wouldn't want to actually piss off because, like, she has legitimate striking.
Yeah, Micah would probably toss me, so I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, Micah was throwing Hiroshi Tanahashi around, so we know she can throw. Also, maybe just a Kyoko. Like, I do believe if she wanted to, she could just hurt you.
But she's so nice.
she's so nice, but I've also seen a double stomp someone off the Kurikan Hall balcony.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She doesn't care if she hurts people, like if she wants to.
Haku's like such a different level, obviously. I think Shuri and Kandori are clear choices. I think Asha Kong should be definitely in that conversation. Yeah. Especially peak Asha Kong.
And probably peak Bull Nakano as well.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of psychos from back then.
It was kind of a prereq to get anywhere, I think.
Yeah. Hokuto was pretty out of her mind.
I watched Kudo.
Yeah. Yep. That would be a Rina Yamashita.
For current day, absolutely.
Yeah, that's she's kind of nuts.
Reach for Sarah, give her that kendo stick, and takes away any reach advantage we might have.
I think we've left the Haku conversation. We're just saying people we don't want to get hit by, but I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
The thing is, like, Haku was such a unique case. Even like with Shuri and Kandori, like, they were professional athletes in kind of fighting, but Haku was just kind of expertly designed from the ground up to be someone you don't want to piss off. I think at least with Shuri, you might have a little bit of time to go, oh, I've gone too far and run off. Before she flicked the switch.
Kandori's terrifying.
Yeah. Konami as well, probably. Like, especially now she's amping up her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, I wouldn't want to get into a fight with her.
I have an answer, but I'm not going to say it.
Koguma?
No. Yeah, I'll tell you after the show.
Right. Patreon exclusive.
You'll understand when I say it. Anyways, if you had to guess, and that's from Midas Push, how long do each of the following wrestlers remain in Stardom, and what is the highest achievement they attain? The 4 wrestlers are as follows: Mariah May, Mega Sis, Megan Bain, Saori Anou, and Suzu Suzuki. I guess we'll start at the top. Mariah May. I know they're going to come calling eventually.
Yeah.
I know eventually there's going to be a big ass contract offered to her, and we're going to lose out on her. But I think there's still time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's leaving anytime soon. I think she's having the time of her life. So I think at least, and this could be bold, but at least till the end of 2024.
That's what I was thinking. Around. I think we've got another year with Mariah May until the AEW and WWE contracts start coming. And I think also for someone like her, she's young enough and new enough to the industry. Like, as long as she's being told the right things, she's in the position now where she can only really increase her value. Like, if she was offered a contract now, it would be good. Especially after this 5-star Grand Prix where she's had a chance to show herself in a one-on-one setting. But like this time next year, I don't think she will done any harm to her contractual opportunities. So give it another year, and the price is only going to be higher, and her name value is only going to be bigger. So she doesn't get wasted necessarily quite as much.
In terms of highest achievement, if she was around for the next 2 to 3 years, I would go as high as one of the top 2 titles.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to be around that long.
Yeah.
I would love to say she is. Obviously a big fan of hers. And I think she would be deserving of one of those top spots if she got it. Because obviously, she's in the conversation with the B's and Tonys already, I think, in terms of just the work she's done, the work she's put in. Those are just some of them, the two most successful, really, in terms of international talent. I don't want to say tag. I want her to get a singles title. You know what? I could see her get the strong.
Yeah, well, it's so difficult.
Does it
to
count?
Predict these two,
can I count that?
I think so. It's closely enough connected.
I can see them give that to her because I think she would be obviously the perfect person to send over for a trip and represent Stardom. And I
guess the question is who actually commands the booking of that belt. Because, I mean, that's a debate we've had with the IWGP women's already. And I could see this belt kind of being New Japan's way of going, well, we've lost control of the belt Mayu has, so we're going to just make another belt that we actually have a say over.
But she's still a star, and I think they could see that, especially with their American push that they're going for with it. I think she'd be great, and especially if they do another Royal Quest, should go without saying she would be on that card. Featured on that card. I would like to say strong. Yeah, she was around for a while. I would even go as willing to say Cinderella tournament. But I don't think she's around long enough for these things to happen. So I'll go as high as strong. Yeah. So I'll go as high as strong. Maybe at the most SWA if they brought it back, but
it should be perfect for the SWA belt for obvious reasons. But yeah, I think the limit is if she's only here until the end of next year, which is what we were predicting. I think tag belts and probably an artist run is probably as high as she's going to end up, just because of the circumstances. But
Mariah, prove us wrong, please.
Yeah,
go
sign a 5-year deal.
We want you to be here forever. We just know you're very talented in AEW, WWE. We'll see you, and they'll take you.
Yeah,
which we don't.
And we're selfish. We want you to stay in Stardom.
We do. I am ready to give you the Wonder title, eventually. I'm ready, but it is what it is. Megan Bain.
It's too early to predict.
I don't think she's going to be around for long. I just think she was already getting AEW looks. And an injury, I think, pretty much stunted that signing.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be around for this little thing. I mean, she's established herself very quickly as a force, and I think they've done a great job. I just don't think she'll be around for a long time.
Yeah, this is sort of another situation of it's not so much, how long does Stardom want her, but how long until the other companies say, hey, do you want to join us?
Yeah. I also don't think everyone has the Mariah May contract where they just stay, right?
Yeah.
Like the unique, she came right over and she hasn't left. Everyone else has went back after 3 months.
I'm expecting this to be a 3-month contract.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I would love
probably come in, do the tag league, and then leave after that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. But we had to. It's sad, but it's true. Saori Anu, that's a good one.
Yeah, I heard rumors that she was trying to get into Stardom back before she actually was doing this thing. So, if that is true and she actually wants to stick around in Stardom as a full-time presence, then, the argument's really she could be there for years and all of the championships are up for grabs. But if she's just kind of doing an extended freelance run, which is also still
they're
very
giving
possible.
her main event spots like crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. If she's
they put her in a faction,
if she's fully committed to Stardom and she's there for a couple of years, which if she's fully committed, she would be. White belt, absolutely. Red belt, maybe. It might be just a step too far with how deep Stardom is, but even Saori's good enough to win it. But yeah, every belt's on the opportunity for her. It's just a matter of if she's fully in or just kind of, knee deep in the water.
I think she's around long enough to win the Wonder. Whatever you think that is, I think she's around long enough to win that.
That's fair, I think.
And now Suzuki. Let me get the list out. Red belt, white belt, 5-star, Cinderella, Goddesses. She already won the Artist. That's it. IWGP, strong. Like, I'm just give everything. I think she's signed. She's part of the roster.
Yeah.
So, and she's clear. She's part of the generational struggle already, which I keep pointing at because she's younger than or she's the same age as Starlight Kid and Azumi, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna lump you into this instead.
Starlight Kid's not in the generational
We'll just
struggle.
kick out Utami for a few weeks so that you can continue to be in this. You actually started it, so we're really gonna just give it to you.
Yeah, she didn't kick out Utami. Mariah kicked out Utami.
That's true, but she just took over. She's going to win everything humanly possible. If you want the highest achievement, the world title. There you go.
Yeah, she's locked in. She's long term. Even before she was locked in and long term, you could almost see Rossi pulling the trigger and just giving her a white belt run, just to kind of say, "Hey, if you come in, this is how we'll treat you." Such was the prize of getting Suzu Suzuki.
I mean, she was a win away from winning the GP.
Yeah, and my early predictions had her in the final this year as well. So I think it's not a question of what will she win, but how many she'll win.
Yeah,
but she's here for as long as she wants to be. Yeah.
I mean, she was in the damn photo book.
Yeah, she's doing bikini shoots with them.
If you're not part of the roster by doing that. Anyways, we move on. Final question of this episode. But yes, Suzu wins everything. Sayori Wonder. Megasis probably not anything.
3 months.
Mariah, hopefully it's not 3 months. I hope to be.
Yeah, we're not saying we don't want to see her around longer. It's just,
it's just
ask me again next week after she's had the red belt match, and I might say
when she's holding the title. she's the new champion. She beats Tab. We're just gonna be like, oh no, got that one wrong.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No, wouldn't be. And then Mariah May, hopefully, she has the potential to get to the Wonder, I think. Stuff like that. It's just a matter of how long she's around. She's going to get offered a very big, pretty contract. She's only 25 years old. Like, she says such a bright future, obviously. Hopefully she's around.
She's loving Japan enough that she wants to stay there for a couple of years.
We'll just have
because that's the other thing that might tie off a contract offer.
Giving her Starbucks or something. I think.
Well, I mean, May Sarah's winning over with that. So.
I know.
Thankfully, there's enough. There's plenty of Starbucks in Japan if that's what it takes to keep.
The highest achievement is her and May Sarah coming together and teaming. That is the.
She needs to get onto Tully's coffee.
Yeah,
I like. Not that I'm a coffee drinker, but I
kind of. I don't know if you know this, but Starbucks is very easy just for the common. But our final question here on this episode is from Hart. Who do you genuinely think is the most underrated wrestler in Stardom's history? So, out of entire Stardom's history, pick one person that is the most underrated wrestler.
What are our boundaries for underrated? Because we've had this discussion before. What constitutes underrated? I think we need to establish this.
So are we doing the Observer, which is kind of the same thing as what we answered earlier, which is like the Observer, the way they look at it is in their company, they aren't at the stature or the placement that you think they should be. Or then there's the underrated that a lot of people use of just they're not appreciated enough.
The Tomohiro Ishii underrated.
Yes.
Because that's the question. Like, it does change your answer quite a bit.
We will do both.
Right. Yep. Well,
we can do whatever the hell we want.
we aren't bound by your rules, Hart. The rules that you didn't lay out in your underrated question. We're piling on.
We want to answer it so thoroughly. We're going to answer both.
Yeah, that's how kind we are to our.
Which one do you want to do
our viewers? Well, I'm going to go with the one that's easiest for me to answer is stature in the company. It's Jungle. Yeah, I don't think she was given the respect she deserved. She should have had a white belt run, and I think she should have had more opportunities at the top, even if she wasn't winning the red belt. The fact that the JAN faction was kind of doomed from the start, I don't think she ever got a chance to properly lead a group. And then, obviously TCS got cut out from underneath for other reasons. But I think she could have had a much bigger spot in the company while she was still there and in her prime.
Boy, I gotta think here. I knew you were gonna pick. I'm not a silly goose here. I knew exactly who you were gonna pick. I don't know. So many people were booked correctly. Like so many people were just booked correctly. Like I'm not gonna answer Hana because she was going to be like, you know, she was already she was a top star.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh boy, this is good content right here. Everyone I think of is like, oh no, they won that title. Oh no, they won this title. Oh no, they won that.
I think this young upstart Io Shirai should have had more time at the top than she did.
Can I pick Mayu from the 2017?
Why 2017 specifically? Well, Mayu, when she won both belts in 2017. She wasn't
before
treated
that.
Like a big enough deal.
Shut up.
January 6 months.
January 1st, 2017. You know what? I'll just go with Hazuki.
I think that's a fair answer.
I think Hazuki's someone that everyone agrees should get that wonder eventually. I think everyone agreed before she retired she should get the wonder eventually. Yep. So I think that kind of helps my statement here that either version of Hazuki you want to pick, it works. Obviously, time's not done for her. Something could still happen, but there's just such a loaded roster. I don't know if it ever will. So for now, I feel pretty comfortable with that one. And then the other underrated, which is just underappreciated by the general public. Someone who's fantastic, but doesn't get the recognition they deserve.
This one's tougher, I think, because like
you can't say Jungle for this one. It's not even.
No, I wasn't going to say Jungle for this one. That's why I was okay with splitting them up.
So that's like not saying Momo. Jungle. You can't say Momo either. The general public knows very well what these people are.
But it's like the question is also, if we're just adding questions onto this question, are we talking the Western fan base? Because you could make an argument for Mariah. Are you talking domestic, which is a little bit harder to analyze?
I'm not in domestic, man.
And are we analyzing like all time? Because like I think you can look back at the Nai Takahashi.
It is all time.
But like at the time, like I think the Nai Takahashi was appreciated during that time.
Sure.
But I think in the aftermath of everything, and it's like you look at the response she was getting when she's come through now, and people are still like, piss off. She's not adding anything, even though she's doing a lot of wonderful things for the young up-and-coming talent. And I think that hatred has gone backwards into when she was guiding Stardom in those first year or two. Whether she is the most underappreciated member of Stardom might be reaching too far. But I think it's
underrated.
Well, in this particular half question, I think they do kind of line up.
So you're picking the Nai?
With an asterisk.
Okay. Sick. From general public, I'm gonna name a few. I have a few for this one. Yoko Bito. Put some respect on my girl Yoko Bito. Went back.
Your girl.
I loved her. Like when I went through and watched Stardom to get up to date, she was one of my favorites. And I was like, I was talking to people. I was like, why does no one talk about Yoko? And I understand she wasn't around that long, but she was great. Loved her. I was just tossed someone out there. I was like, maybe not. I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna laugh at me. But I think Mayu Iwatani is underrated by a lot of people.
Oh, come on.
No. Hear me out here. when you hear the Freedom
and you were going off at me for jungle.
Me talk. When you hear the Freedom conversation, so many people still put her below the other two.
Do they?
Yes. You and me are the only ones that talk about Mayu at a constant rate. No wonder why you just don't know that.
It's an echo chamber of two.
Like a lot of people favor Io easily.
I can understand the Io argument.
I can't. She wrestled the same match every single main event she ever had.
But if you
I just wanted to rile you up. I was just kidding. That was fun though. Thank you for that. I have one and I lost it, so that's awesome.
Too distracted by your Mayu Iwatani comment there.
I just wanted to because I my hope is everyone's listening to this and just said, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?"
Yeah, I'm the audience avatar.
Get a load of this guy. You know what are we doing here? Which would
you know who else isn't used enough in Stardom? Tam Nakano. Am I right?
That's not the same thing at all. Tam Nakano does not go away. She just wins everything and doesn't stop. And Mayu doesn't win everything and stop. She wins something and doesn't get to do anything with it. Don't get me started on Tam Nakano. I think my one pick was good. I don't even remember what I said. Yoko.
Yoko Bito is a good pick.
I felt pretty good about Yoko. I think that one's a good one. I want to give some love to Aki Yasukawa. I think Aki Yasukawa is very underappreciated. I think a lot of people, when it comes to her Stardom time, remember one thing and not her actual wrestling career, which is a shame. I think she's obviously great.
And you could make an argument for like a Natsuki Tayo in a similar boat in the sense that people just aren't aware of what she did for early Stardom.
People are going to laugh at me. Kaori Oniyama. I think what she's done over a long period of time, she's fit in a lot of spots, a lot of key spots. Sure, maybe like all the clown ones aren't that big of a deal, but she did do a lot for Stardom in many ways. Whether it's, high speed stuff, fill in as a clown. Oh yeah,
there's a few veterans that kind of fill that boat. Like even her Hiroyu Matsumoto, like her time in Stardom was always as like a tertiary character. But whenever she filled a lot of different spots. She could be a main event contender, tag champion. She could be in the bottom and the mid card, like whatever they needed of her. She did wonders in those couple of years that she was sort of semi-regular.
Yeah, so I was actually kidding about the Mayu thing, but thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all yelling at me collectively, including Trent. I mean, the Freedom thing is real, but I was still kidding. Yeah,
he wasn't kidding.
No, probably not. Hey, what can I say? I think that's it. I was trying to think of like more people, but I don't need to sit here and talk. Like I could think of like low card people that were great, and I don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We'll just wrap up this first part episode. Trent, what do you have coming out, or people should be looking for, and tell them where to find you?
So you can find me on Twitter /X at OneUpCulture. I'm still getting used to that, and I generally still just call it Twitter. Now, even though they've removed it from tweet, look, they got rid of tweeting, even though it's like in the public vernacular.
Repost.
Yeah. What kind of? You can find me at OneUpCulture. Recently, we have just released a new episode of Ocean Cyclone Show. So if you like Scott and I and want a voice of reason in there as well with Ryan, that just came out on Saturday. And I should have an article coming out maybe next week on Mei Suruga and sort of how much she's impacting Joshi already. And, basically her being a young Emi Sakura. So keep an eye out on Wrestling for that.
Yeah, follow me over on the X at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter. If you don't follow me already.
Are you using Threads?
No.
Man, how outdated will this be like in 5 years when there's an actual social media that everyone's using and people listening to this going, what is Threads? X, like that's a historical
Threads
blip in time.
Threads and X. Who doesn't love a little
Sky Blue, Mastodon?
I think it's Blue Sky. I think Sky Blue's a wrestler.
I'm dyslexic.
All right, fair enough.
Slick.
You can check out my interview with Sari over on Fightful.com. You can check out an article I wrote about the main event of Sariism Chapter 2 over on VoicesOfWrestling.com. And I am continuously reviewing the 5-star Grand Prix. Even days, switching off with Alex over at Vow. So I got Mayu and Tam, so I won.
You negotiated that.
I think I got Suzu and Mayu too. So guys, I won. It's fine. I got all the matches that I wanted. So just by saying I'll do evens and you can do the opening night. So yeah, check out all that. And of course, check out every podcast over on the Count Out Podcast Network. We have plenty going on there, including Ring Post Radio with yours truly and Ryan. That's where I rant about AEW. So if you want to hear me, especially this past week, rant about the AEW women's division situation that has run amok on social media as of late. I guess I probably said something there, so you can check that out. But yeah, just check all the Joshi stuff. That's what I'm here for, and make sure to come back for Sariism. Jesus Christ,
Sari Road, full conversion.
Yeah, we'll cover her 4 NXT matches. Make sure
go
to
in depth on what the schoolgirl gimmick actually meant.
Make sure to subscribe to the Stardom Road podcast if you don't already, so you never miss an episode, because you don't want to miss part 2 of the Q&A section. That should be a lot of fun. So until next time, everybody, see ya.
Hi guys, this is Lauren.
This is Michael.
And this is Your Dose of Death podcast. If you're genuinely curious about the world of deathmatch wrestling, look no further, as me and Mike have you covered on all things in the world of deathmatch wrestling, whether it's
interviews,
show reviews, or everything in between. We have you covered on all things deathmatch wrestling, whether it's past, present, or future. And you're probably wondering where you can go support us. You can find Your Dose of Death podcast on all major podcast platforms, especially along with the Count Out network of podcasts. And also, you can support us on the Count Out Patreon, as we have exclusive content only on the Patreon for all of our listeners. We hope that you go listen to Your Dose of Death podcast very soon.
And see you at the shows.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.